So this is my rental KRT ST900HD. I've had an opportunity to play with it a little bit today, and so far, this thing seems really awesome. I'm very impressed with this machine. This is probably the best built machine I've ever played with. Mind you, it is by far, the most expensive machine I've ever played with. These seem to retail online for $28,000, $29,000. You can go buy some of my other machines for as little as $8,500 or $13,000. My most expensive mini skid is $13,000. So this isn't really apples to apples comparison. But this machine is really awesome. And today I'm going to walk around this and I'm going to show you some of its features and show you some of the options it has and exactly what this thing is and what it does. And you can make a determination if this is something that you want for your property or even your business with something like this. Think about it. This machine I got from an equipment rental place. They had two different stand-on mini skids over there. They had a Vermeer and a KRT. And they said some people like the Vermeer better because the KRT is too fast, especially when you turn. When you turn this, it whips so fast it makes people almost want to fly off. So they prefer the lower powered Vermeer. Seriously. Why is this machine so powerful? Oh, well, let me tell you. This is powered by the Kubota D1703 engine. That is the biggest 25 horsepower 3-cylinder Kubota diesel that you can get. And it's in this machine, this little tiny machine. Now this machine weighs just over 3,500 pounds. So it's not a big machine at all. But it's a monster. Let me show you some close-ups here. I think we're going to start off with the tracks. So I like this track design, just these open rollers. They're big, meaty rollers. Now these all have little, looks like little caps on top of each of the bolts, which is pretty clean look. You can see back in here, you can see where the adjuster is. Also, it has a little park brake feature. You see how that's locked in and it can't roll? Yeah, that's pretty clean. That's not a feature that you see on a whole lot of these machines. See, it started up and it sucked it back in. So besides the beefy rollers here, this whole machine is built really well and heavy duty. So first off, it's supposed to have a fire extinguisher on the side, but I think it works great for a Gatorade bottle, and I think I'm going to keep it there. You can see it's got a couple counterweights on either side. Little suitcase style counterweights that when you take them off, you can just pick them up and move them. Also for rear weight, it has a lot of rear weight. The majority of the weight of this machine's in the rear. So this is your diesel tank. And it has a little gauge right on top. Very easy to get to. Keep all that weight right in the rear of the machine. Over on the left-hand side, it has a locking hydraulic fluid tank. And you can see right where it's at. Now, a neat feature of this is when you move the arms down, you can hear air coming out of this. It has a little breather for the hydraulic fluid, which is pretty cool. Over here, instead of a fire extinguisher or Gatorade holder, this has, it looks like an instruction manual supposed to be in there. It doesn't have one in this particular machine, but I believe that's where it's supposed to go. Also, see these red bars? These are your supports. So when you have the arms raised up, you put those on the lift cylinder and it keeps the arms from falling down. And this has them on both sides. Now I just need to say, remember, this is a rental machine and it's been beat on and it's been used quite a bit. You can see every corner of it's been run into something. because it's just a rental and people just don't care when they rent these things. So in the front here, not only do you see your hydraulic lines for your auxiliary attachments, which are pretty awesome, but a really neat feature about this is sometimes these are overpressurized, and I hear guys talking about loosening the connection, so let some pressure off and bleed it off. Well, on this one, you just pull the pin. This releases the pressure, and it has it on both sides. Just pull that, release the pressure, and you can hook your attachments right up. So that is a really cool feature. I like that. I don't have that on my other machines. I think they all should have that. So here on the front cylinder, you can see it has a little steel plate, which is pretty beefy, to protect these lines and these fittings from anything coming at it when you're running into something or using some sort of attachment. So that's kind of nice. Now the hydraulic line's a little bit of flexibility here, but it goes into hard lines, and these hard lines are covered up by this solid piece of steel to keep anything from happening from them. Now you're going to have them flexible again here at the back, and these run right down in there and they're tucked away, and you don't have to worry about anything happening to those lines. Another cool feature about this, check out these lights. These are kind of like mini light bars like I'd have on my side-by-side. Let me turn them on for you. So these are bright, super bright. I need to try this thing out at night to see what these lights look like. But to turn those lights on, it's here on your control panel. So you see on this control panel, it's kind of a standard mini skid layout. You've got your handles, you've got your rental handles torn up over here. And it's really hard to see, but there's a water temp gauge, there's an hour meter, and they're really difficult to see back behind there. So if you get down, now you can see them fairly well. It's got 63 hours on this machine, so it's fairly new. And then here, it's your headlights. Now this is auto hold. When you flick that on, none of your controls work. This is your e-brake, and this is an auto hold. And so when you turn on the e-brake, then nothing works, and it's just parked. So this is your battery kill switch. We'll just leave it in the on position. It's got a throttle. Let me fire it up. So the throttle, it works very, very well, very smooth. And then the controls are really smooth as well. Yeah. Now, you guys can't really tell how smooth these are, but they're very smooth controls. And then this over here, this is your drive control. Let's speed it up a little. I don't know if you can tell how fast we're moving. Let's just take the first spin. So if you're going all the way, you can't turn when you're going all the way forward. You have to let back a little bit, and then you can turn it and move at the same time. Yeah, this dude is pretty fast. Something else that's really neat about this machine, see my beautiful yard mowed by my robot lawnmower? When I turn, it usually just tears the yard apart, right? Because the tracks just really dig in. Now, I'm not saying this track machine doesn't tear up the yard, but not nearly as bad as what I'm used to. I believe it's because of its track design. Oh, something I forgot. This is your exhaust port right there. Woo, that's hot. Woo! So that's kind of the control layout for you. Oh, this is your auxiliary. And something I didn't think about, I didn't think to mention. See here it says floating. So you put that down and then you could go a little bit further forward. That's float mode. It doesn't lock in, you have to hold it there, but it does have a float mode. And I did test it out on my gravel driveway and it does work quite well. So I've got a few warnings for you. Caution. If a man is looking at a picture of a mini skid on the wall, read a book. Read a book about, yeah, I don't know. This one, it looks like that's a machete chopping up a turtle. That's messed up. And then over here we've got warning. There's electrical lines above, and if you have metal in your head, maybe it's magnetic and will suck your head in. I don't really know. Don't tip forward. Go downhill, go uphill, but don't lift the arms while you're moving on a flat ground. Caution, buses or taxis could tip over. Turtles to the right. Rabbits don't do sharp turns, but turtles can do wide sweeping turns. And here, bring a portable shower with you if you're going to operate this machine, because you're probably going to be hot and sweaty. So something I didn't mention, down in here, you see these springs. It's got 6 springs. Let me flip that up. You can really see the springs well, and the springs go to this plate, and then these arms of this platform come down and they go on that plate. And then when you step on it, it's pretty stiff, but you could jump on it like a trampoline. We're going to say the KRT has a trampoline step. It's crazy. I've never been on one so bouncy before. You could use it as a diving platform, I'm sure. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, you can back this up to your pool. Pretty cool. Okay, I like to play with toys. So the highlight of this machine is what's under this hood. Now remember, rental unit, latch broke. This one doesn't have gas struts. It has a prop rod. And the prop rod's cute and all, but the gas struts would be a little bit better. So here's our first peek under the hood. Your filters are readily accessible. You see you have a really nice exhaust jacket to keep it cool, and the exhaust is right back there also. Battery, no problem getting to that. And if you look back in here, there's a fuse box. So fuses are really easy to get to. Oh, and I forgot to show you guys the horn. It does have a horn. So your air filter, again, super accessible. And then anything else you want to get to is probably not very accessible except for your fuel filter. But everything else is tucked down in there. So this does have the D1703 Kubota. It is a monster. These are the drive pumps. These are the hydraulic pumps it has, which is really hard to get down there and see. I even have my little baby camera out, and I just can't get to it. So the hydraulic hoses, everything looks beastly. Everything looks really well made. I don't see any rust forming on any bolt anywhere. It all looks like it's really high quality. I am impressed with this machine. This is a very cool machine. You know, look at this. You don't see any rust anywhere on anything on this. Now, I don't know if you've seen this, but see how it says VMANG inside this on the gauge? So this is actually manufactured by VMANG. but this is manufactured by VMang, specifically with the specifications that KRT has given them. And KRT buys all their machines from the manufacturer in China, and they have some pretty good specs. Now, I hear some of the VMang machines, like the one that I'm getting soon, might be a little nicer than this. But again, this is a great machine. So let's get this hood shut. And let me do a little lap around the yard, and I'll show you how it does on hills. Let's fire this up and take it for a lap around the yard. Ooh, robot mower. My robot mower blocked me. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Look how fast this is. So there's a real quick overview of this KRT ST900HD. And so far, it seems like a pretty awesome machine. Now, I do have some other machines I'm going to be comparing some machines to soon. Some big name brand ones like kind of like Wildcat. And I might take some of my current machines and line them all up together. Maybe a drag race, maybe a lift test, and let's really see what these machines can do. And while I have access to this rental, I probably need to play with as many of these tests as I can so we could see what this thing can do. So thank you all for sticking around. I really appreciate every single one of you. If you like this kind of content, you want to see more on these cool little machines and all these new machines I have coming, and want to see some reviews on them and see some comparison tests, click that like, click that subscribe. It really means a lot to me and really helps the channel. I appreciate you all so much. We just hit 50,000 subscribers, a milestone I never thought I'd hit. So it's because of you, and thank you. And for those of you who haven't subscribed, go ahead. Doesn't hurt. Click that subscribe button. But besides that, have yourself a great day. Enjoy your time out here in the trees, and we'll see you on the next one.